Halloween from the ghouls at Magic 107.7.
This time it's Old Abilene. The Old Abilene.
Old Abilene
is one of the best in the state.
That's my opinion. The entire town of Abilene is haunted. Think about it. It was an old cow town. It was the first cow town in the United States, really. And it was out of control. People were shooting each other in the streets. It was so bad there that they had underground tunnels so that the business owners could take their money and go underground to take it to the bank.
Wow.
Because they couldn't even walk up on the streets without worrying about being robbed or shot. It was a very bad town. And so when they decided to get hold of the town, turn it into more of a family town and, get a good sheriff in, and they moved all of the cowboys down to the south end of town. And, and that's where the cattle yards were. And that's where they also moved the brothels. So the prostitutes went there. So wherever there's cowboys, there's going to be prostitutes, and and lots of money. And wherever there's those two, you're usually going to have hauntings of some kind, it seems like. So it was a very and that's where Old Abilene town is now, the tourist site. And some of the buildings were brought in from other locations. They're all original buildings.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they weren't built there. They're all original buildings. The church was brought in from somewhere. The cabins were brought in. So they are all original buildings. So they have that history and that energy and everything attached to them of the people that owned them. And twice we've investigated there multiple times, but the first time we investigated, we had a earthquake.
We did. That was an interesting experience, not paranormal whatsoever, but it was my first earthquake.
Interesting.
I bet.
So we had an earthquake. We did have an experience in, we call it the Blue Building, and some of us were standing in there, and this black figure came through a doorway, shot across a room, and out through a doorway that there was no door, so it just went outside because this building was being redone, and just disappeared. And so then we went again on another investigation, had a friend with us, and he was there to write a book. Dan Terry is his name. And he wanted to know what had happened in that building. So myself and a few others that had experienced it the time before took him in, and we're telling him what happened, and no more had I gotten black shadow showed up in the doorway out of my mouth than the black shadow showed up in the doorway.
Wow.
Again. And I saw it. One of the other investigators that was by me saw it, and we both kind of went, there it is. And it shot across the room. There was wood stacked up, because they're doing a lot of remodeling, rebuilding, fixing things. And there was 2x4s propped up against the wall, and they were leaned up so that they wouldn't fall. Mm-hmm. And that whole stack of wood was pushed over. I'll admit it, I screamed like a girl. And, took me by surprise. And Dan, his reaction was, oh, so you're going to scare me. You're trying to scare us, and you don't scare me. And so he was ready to take it on. But we've seen figures have chased us out of a room.
Doors have slammed on their own.
Yes, in the motel. A black shadow figure chased myself and another person out of a room in the motel upstairs.
We have photo evidence of a cowboy actually walking outside of one of the buildings.
Outside of the saloon, we have a photo of a ghost cowboy walking out there. People report to us, and mostly the gun reenactors, the reenactors that work there, because they'll camp there on the weekends.
Yeah.
They'll sleep all night there, and they'll tell us, we see this. I mean, they'll tell us about balls of light floating around, coming out of buildings and floating around and coming into their tents. And
whoa, I've saved the best for last. Coming up now, this is Brenda Mason.
Man, that was Between
know.
that one and the Jayhawk Tower,
Oh.
that is creepy as heck.
And by the way, that's Brenda Mason, founder of the Kansas Paranormal Research Society.
And they do
investigator
trips too. I'm
Devan
gonna get on some of
Yeah.
those. I'm gonna go.
So, and you can go to that website, the Kansas Paranormal Research
Right.
Society. They've got pictures that they have taken. They've got sound of things like that. Wait till you hear about demon possession.
Where is that? Where at?
Next hour, right here in Topeka. Happened to a
What?
couple. Oh, yeah. It's coming up next hour here on Magic.
One is a need for